Hello, I'm Lowell Martin, and this is MCC Today. Third time's a charm. On today's show, we have Lance Strickland, Sheila Johnson, and Jayden Williams. You're going to want to watch this.
Thank you to the teachers for encouraging me when I wasn't sure where to start, for seeing my potential even when I didn't, for inspiring me to reach farther and try harder.
Thank you, MCC. You helped me change my future.
Find your wings at MCC.
And we are here today with Miss Jayden Williams. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You are. I know you're thrilled to be here. Literally, she was in the Success Center last week, I think. Was it last week? And I said, I want you on the show. And she's like, okay. You didn't know what the show was, didn't know anything about it, but you came today, and I really appreciate it. Now, you are at MCC at the moment, but you come from a homeschool background. Mm-hmm. Now, how many years were you homeschooled?
My entire life.
The entire...
I have never stepped foot in a public school or private school before, ever.
Just no school.
Ever.
Was the transition to college difficult?
Very.
What was difficult?
My only classmate was my brother, so that was a huge change. It was really funny. I remember the first day walking in my first class, which was college algebra. My biggest worry was where I was going to sit. I didn't know what to do, but I actually knew one of the girls, and she just pulled out her chair next to me, and that meant a lot. So it saved me for this year, and that's where I've sat ever since.
Okay.
And it was different because there were other peers, and I was not used to being around other peers. So it's been a big adjustment, and I enjoyed the schedule. Not so much the workload, but I've managed pretty good. I've worked hard to keep my grades up, and I think it shows.
Yes,
so
it does.
I'm really proud of that.
You're an excellent student. I mean, and that's one of the reasons I wanted you on the show, because you're a good writer, you're good with math, or decent with math. No.
I have an A.
She really is a good student all around. But just coming from a homeschool background, that's why I wanted you on the show. But you are trying for a particular accomplishment here at MCC. What is that?
I'm trying to get my associates in arts, which is just university transfer, 2-year degree, I guess, done in 1 year.
And how's that going so far?
So far, it's all going great. I've got 23 credit hours this semester, provided I pass everything, and I think it's too late to drop it in class now, so I'll probably be fine. And I'm getting 39 credit hours next semester.
Oh my gosh.
I'm splitting it up though. I'm taking 9 credit hours over this holiday.
Okay.
And I'm taking 6 credit hours over, I think it's called the Maymester.
Yes.
And so that's 15 total that's not in the semester.
Okay.
And then during next semester, I'll only be taking like a handful of things. I've got the leadership and the honors forum, and I've got a couple in-person classes, but a lot of it's online, and I think that's what's kind of helping with that.
Now, are you used to this kind of load when you were homeschooled? Because this is a lot, and I'm just going to say, I recommended, I was like,
He asked, why are you doing this to yourself?
I did say, why are you doing this to yourself? And, that is a lot. And but she then laid out her plan and said, this is how I'm going to do it. And I said, well, I can't fault you for that. I can't argue with you, about it. But are you used to having a lot of work?
My homeschool was a little different. I had a Beck Academy as like my curriculum, which is a little bit of a more difficult homeschool. And I started out in 3rd grade, not kindergarten, not 1st, not 2nd, but 3rd grade, because my middle brother, he was in 3rd grade at his age level, and I had another older brother who was a couple grades above us. So rather than buying 3 separate grades, and that's just a lot of money, and it's a lot of time and effort, they just put me in with him, and I survived with that. And then we started to do
Forget kindergarten. We're just gonna put you in with your brother.
exactly.
Okay.
But
And
I mean,
it worked.
it worked. I was always ahead at that point because I was put in a couple grades ahead. I finished high school at 15, but I wasn't able to take my GED until I was 16, which kind of sucked because I was a little rusty at that point. But part of our schedules were double days, and usually by the end of the grade, we would like just bunch up a whole thing in one day just to go ahead and get it through. We also never took summer break, so I just kind of worked along through everything.
Okay,
And
so this is not, I mean,
it's
this
more,
pace is a pace that you're actually used to.
yeah, it is definitely different because I also work every evening. Well, not now, but for temporarily. I work like 4 till 9, like pretty late every evening. So it's really difficult to find time to do schoolwork in between there, but school comes first because jobs can be temporary.
Sure.
And that's what I'm working with.
Why do you want to get this degree completed in a year?
It was just the first thing that came to mind. I was thinking, why space everything out? I mean, that's what most people do, but why space it out whenever I can just work a little bit harder and get it done a little bit sooner, and then move on to the next step, which will be going to university, and then studying the thing I really want to study. And
What do you plan to get your 4-year degree in?
modern languages and Japanese specifically.
Okay.
And I hopefully plan to get a couple other languages down before I die eventually.
Okay.
And
Well, let's hope that's a long time away.
yes. And it's a bucket list. And
Okay.
I also was thinking, since I'm getting all my basics done, that means I only have the fun classes left. So what if that gives me time to double major? And I'm still considering that, and the first thought was international business, but I'm still figuring out that second part.
Well, so what you want to get your basic degree or your 4-year degree in modern languages and Japanese, right? To do what? What is your?
I don't know. That's just the only thing that has felt right
Okay.
throughout everything. I love the language. It's beautiful. I've met multiple people from Japan, and they're so sweet, and I want to go there someday. And just everything about them and their culture and their country, their history, it's just fascinating. I think it's beautiful, and I can't wait to go.
Do you hope to teach or something like that, perhaps?
I do love teaching all kinds of things, so that's an option, but there are many different opportunities for any person who's multilingual.
Okay.
And so that opens up multiple opportunities. I haven't quite figured out profession yet, just trying to get through this step, but I do know that it's something that I'll never regret learning. And I actually already have a year of Japanese that I took in the gap between high school and college. And I got a full credit year in 2 months, which is another workload thing that I'm used to. And I was going to study abroad for my senior year, but my senior year was 2020, and that didn't quite work out.
Oh, darn.
But it's okay, because I will have to study abroad to graduate when I reach university.
Okay.
So it'll work out either way.
It should work out very well. Now, as far as your education, are you glad that you were homeschooled? Do you think you missed out on anything?
I did miss out, but it was more so on the social aspect of things. Like, I'm very socially awkward, and it's difficult to put myself out there, but I kind of have to get used to everything. So my parents chose academics over more social things, and I think it did help me because it put me on early, and I got to have more education than a lot of my peers.
Okay.
So,
Well, listen, I want to thank you for being on the show today. I know it was anxiety producing for you,
Little
but
bit.
I'm very glad that you're here. I want to have you again next semester, maybe at the end of next semester, to see how things are going, okay?
alrighty. That
Thank
sounds
you
good.
so much.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back.
Since 1996, the MCC Foundation Tuition Guarantee Program has provided students an opportunity to find their potential. Thousands of students have benefited from the program. Over $6 million have been invested in the students who learn and live right here in our community. This program is funded by individuals and businesses who believe in our students, our families, and the economic impact of an education at Meridian Community College. Now is your chance to offer support. Give today at meridiancc.edu/give.
And we are here with the wonderful Miss Sheila Johnson. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Now, you are in charge of the Medical Lab Technology Program.
Yes, I am.
And you have been doing this for a number of years.
Yes, quite a few now.
Quite a few now.
Quite a few now.
And everything's going well, right?
Yes, everything's good. Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you, with this program, it is a 2-year program?
Yes.
And the 2-year program, what kind of prerequisites do you have to get into
None.
your program? None.
No.
Graduate from high school
Yeah.
or get a high school equivalency.
Correct.
Okay.
And make really high on the ACT.
Really high on the ACT.
Yes.
Okay.
25 or above.
25, what?
25 or above.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have not started doing the subsection scores like that, but if you can make
Okay,
high enough
I'm
in
just
any
saying.
of those, I'm saying, particularly like the sciences and maths, because that's our focus.
If you don't have, say,
A
a
25.
25, are there other options? Are there other avenues to allow you to get into your program?
Yes, certainly. One of probably the best ways that you can also take advantage of no prerequisites is to, while you're in high school, take some of those dual credit, dual
Oh my
enrollment
goodness.
classes. Those would just be great. Anyway, if you take those, then that obviously, those are college classes. They would qualify you for our program. If you don't choose to do that route though, or you a little older and it wasn't offered while you were in school, you can always just take a couple of basic classes. You just need 15 credit hours.
Okay.
If you don't have, the minimum is, or well, I shouldn't say the minimum, the requirement really is an 18 on the ACT. But if you don't have that, let's say you made a 17,
Okay.
you can take 15 hours worth of classes and that still qualifies you. So we're not even talking, just like one full semester's worth of classes.
And these are general college classes?
General
that
ed
you're-
classes, yes.
Okay.
English composition, A&P, microbiology, anything like those types of classes.
Okay. How many new students do you accept?
Every August, we accept
okay.
15 new students.
Okay.
Yes.
And as I said, it's a 2-year program. When they
Yes.
finish, they will get an AAS degree.
Correct.
Okay. And what kind of job opportunities are out there for graduates of your program?
So many,
I'm
so
just saying.
many.
Last time you were here, it was like, oh my
So
gosh.
many. I think our 2 facilities here in town, the big ones that we use for clinicals, Rush and Anderson's, Oshner's Rush now, and Anderson's, have probably 15 openings, total.
Okay.
So that's a lot because
Okay.
that's as many students as we could possibly take in. But what are some other opportunities? Because yes, you can work in a hospital laboratory.
Okay.
You can work in a doctor's office or what we call a clinic laboratory. Some facilities, depending on their size, they may have an emergency room laboratory. You can work in a veterinarian's office, interestingly enough.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting for
Yes, it
if you want to go a different route with this degree. You can go. We had a couple of male students in several classes here recently who have chosen to go into what we call field service rep,
Okay.
where they work on the instruments in the lab. So they
Oh.
take their knowledge that we've given them and they build upon it at the company, and they use what we gave them to understand the test, but then they work on the instruments that actually run the test.
Wow,
So,
okay.
you can do that. And I say, guys, obviously women can do it too, but we just had a couple of our male students that chose to do that route. You can work in any state in the United States.
So this degree, you don't have to get like one of those certifications.
You do. You do have to
So-
pass certification,
Okay.
but it's national.
Okay, so once
So
you get that,
right,
you
you're
can go
good.
anywhere.
You're good.
Okay.
Yes. And depending on where you want to live, like you can make really good money. Lots of facilities are struggling so much to find qualified laboratorians that they are offering huge sign-on bonuses. They're offering to help you move. They're offering to help you, pay for apartment or,
Really?
to help you get established so that you can, get where you need to be so that you can help them out and get working. So it's a really good time to broaden your horizons, in this profession if you would like to do that. We also have it's probably been about 5 years that it's really come up with this travel tech, where you can stay where you are, so here in Mississippi if you want to, but you can work with a travel company and you can actually go all over the United States, including Hawaii, Alaska, anywhere like that, and you stay for 13 weeks. You get paid really good money. They pay your medical, they pay your dental, they pay your housing, they pay your food. You are making a salary that's basically yours, free and clear, and then you come home in 13 weeks and you decide if you want to go again or if you don't. So hey, travel tech works pretty good. You know, if you're in a situation where you can travel and go ahead and build up that resume and you know, you got all these places that you've worked with, all these different instruments, so that when you do finally settle down and want to have children or you know whatever, then you've got a massive resume that you can bring to the table locally to help you out with salary and everything else.
And so what you're saying, pretty much all of the people in your program now, if they complete your program, they have jobs. The jobs are there.
The only people that don't have jobs when they graduate are the ones who don't want one. Seriously, because there are so many openings.
And
so
as you said, the money's good.
Oh, it's really good.
So,
really good.
If someone is sitting there and they're like, I want to make a change, right? You know, but they're not sure if this is for them. What kind of person would you say, okay, I think you might need to try this. I think this would be a good fit for you. Someone
who is, and I use the word maybe a little loosely, but a little more introverted. Maybe someone who's not like a really people up, you know, want to be around individuals when they're really sick. You would rather deal with like the aftermath in the sense of the specimen collections and all of that. So someone who maybe is a little quieter by nature, a little bit maybe shy, you know, something, you know, because you're going to be working with, usually, unless you do the travel, you're going to be working with the same group of people day in, day out, you know, but you're not having as much contact with all of the other departments in the healthcare facility. So your physicians, your nurses, your respiratory, radiology, you're not interacting, you know, and sometimes that's the key for what sends students our way. Those who want to be in healthcare, but they don't want to be frontline, face-to-face, hands-on with the patient, but they still want to provide that wonderful service. Because without us, diagnoses are hard to make. Very hard.
What drew you into this field? Was it the same?
Pretty much that. You would never know it now, but.
No, well, when I first met you, you were very quiet.
I was very quiet. People that used to know me when I first started, they're like, who are you? Because I was very shy, very quiet. I was very, very introverted, and I had to make those changes for myself to work in this profession. But this is what I always wanted to do. But I had to get here. But those types of students
are the ones.
They do really, really well in our field, in the program. I'm not saying other students don't. Please don't think that if you're extroverted, you can't do this. But sometimes the introverts are the ones who, you know, they kind of sit back and are like,
Well, if they're interested in the program, what do they need to do?
They can look on the website. So just go to Meridian Community College website and just look for programs of study. Look for medical laboratory technology, and it's all there. They can email me from there. My phone number's on there. So it's all available to them, and it's a lot of information that we haven't covered, other areas they can work, all the requirements for graduation. So it's all on there.
Well, listen, thank you so much for being on the show today.
You're very welcome.
I want to have you back, as always.
Maybe.
We'll be right back.
Not essential. Never let anyone tell you that again. Never doubt your abilities to make a difference. How do I know this about you? Because I'm a teacher. I am the one who will push you harder and farther than you could have ever imagined. Teach you things that you never thought possible. And if you will give me 100%, then I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and together we will change your future. MCC, find your wings.
And we're here today with Coach Lance Strickland. How are you doing today?
Doing well. I appreciate you having me on.
No problem whatsoever. Now you are our golf coach,
yes,
and
sir.
you have been head golf coach for a year now.
Yes, sir.
And before that, you were assistant coach for a couple of years,
Since
right?
2020.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Great year to come on.
It was.
Lots of changes in that
yes, sir.
during that time period. But how's everything going?
It's been going great. I've been very grateful to have this job. It's been very interesting. I've kind of learned some new things along the way, but it's been awesome.
Okay.
I love this place too.
It is a good place.
It's a great place to go to school, and it's a fantastic place to work too.
Now, you went to school here before you
Yes, sir.
became an assistant coach. Did you
Yes,
play
sir.
golf here?
Yes, sir. I was a two-time All-American here in
Okay.
2015 through 2017, and then went on to play at University of North Alabama and
Okay.
came back.
Is that what drew you to coaching? Because you enjoyed it here so much, and you, I'm sure enjoyed our coach.
It was, yeah. Coach Key has been an awesome guy. I love him to death. But coaching was never something I thought I'd really ever do. And Coach Key asked me to come on in 2020, and I said, why not? And I really enjoyed it then. And when he retired and the job came up, I said, why not? I'm grateful to be here.
How many student athletes do you have on your team?
I've got 6 right now, which is a little slim.
How many would you like to have?
I'd like to have 7 or 8 next year. We've got 3 signed so far. I'm going to try and pick up 2 more.
Okay.
And that'll get us to 7 for next year.
Okay.
But we got a fantastic team. It's been an ideal team to come on to for my first year. Coach Key left me with some great guys.
He did.
Good players and some fantastic people. It's a fun group to be around. We go eat all the time. It's just one big close family. We just enjoy hanging out with each other. It makes it fun.
Now, what's your process for getting a new student athlete? What do you do? They send you videos? Do you go watch them?
It's a little bit of word of mouth. You'll go watch a few tournaments and go see kind of what they got. And I've got some stuff I send them, and I'm real big into trying to talk to the parents too. I like talking to the parents.
Okay.
Almost more or about the same. We really like the families to be involved with the entire process, and when they come on, we want them to be as a part of everything as they can be when their child gets here.
Well, now we're big here. I know that we're big on, we've got they're student athletes, so they're athletes, but they're students first.
Yes, sir.
So how do you maintain or help them maintain decent grades? How do you help them maintain the student part of it?
Yes, sir. Usually once we start struggling in the classroom a little bit, we'll start doing some extra work, making sure we're studying. But I don't believe in punishing somebody if they're doing well on their own. But if we need some together time, we'll do it.
And for the most part, that works.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, excellent. I'm just going to be honest with you. 48 million years ago, when I was in high school, I had a job at Lakeview Golf Course.
Yes, sir.
A part-time job, and I thought the golfers were the craziest people on the face of the planet.
Some of us are.
Oh my gosh.
Very particular people.
I was like, oh my gosh. What drew you to golf?
My parents stuck a club in my hand whenever I could walk. I'm left-handed, and both my parents right-handed, so in the backyard I'd beat the back end of the club with the ball. And kind of, I played baseball and basketball and stuff like that in high school. And golf has always just been, it's something that just challenges you every day. It's always something new every day. And that's just kind of what the addicting part of it is.
And you can never be sure of all of the, all the pieces.
It's hard to get everything right at the same time. It's just it's definitely one of the toughest sports in the world. There's certainly some other ones, but golf is very mentally challenging. And it can be stressful, but it's very rewarding when you finally put it all together.
Well, now, do you still play a lot?
Not as much as I was, but I
miss
still
it?
I do,
Okay.
but I play with the guys a few times a week and kind of let them. We learn together. Everybody kind of teaches each other new things, and it's a good system.
Well, if someone is watching and they're interested in possibly being on the team or trying to, what should they do to let you know that they're interested?
Send me an email.
Okay.
I'm definitely willing to talk. Definitely have some stuff I'm looking for as far as grades go and skill goes, but it never hurts to send an email.
Now, what's your email address?
It's lstrick1@meridiancc.edu.
Okay. And so they send you an email. If they've got any video of themselves golfing, would that be good?
That's awesome.
Okay.
There's another website called NCSA, which is a great recruiting tool for players and coaches to look at, and that's a good start. Even if it doesn't work out here, that's a great place for kids to be seen, and that's a good place to start too.
Now you're hoping, you say you want to get maybe 1 or 2 more players.
Yes, sir.
But what are your hopes for the next few years?
I'd love
as far
to
as your
get.
team is concerned.
Obviously, we had our MACCC championship ring ceremony
Yes.
from last year a few nights ago, but definitely would love to at least be able to get a ring every 2 to 3 years.
And how do you go about doing that? Now, please ignore my ignorance of golf, but how do you go about doing that? if you
Just
don't
getting the
mind me
right
asking?
kids in here.
Okay.
Definitely want kids that have, I love kids that want to come in here and play their 2 years and go on and play 2 more years. I want kids that are driven, that have their goals they want to accomplish, and I think that's a good, just an easy way. If you got kids that want to do well, it's going to speak for itself.
Yes, it will. Now, when you played 2 years here and then you went off and played 2 more years, at the end of that 2 years, were you disappointed? Were you like, oh darn,
I was.
I'm coming to the
and
end of this?
The one thing that I've seen with our kids from my 3 years being here and myself, whenever I left here, it was hard leaving here. It's a lot of people wish this was a 4-year institution. It's a great family organization here. Everybody's so close. I think it's really easy to communicate with your teachers. They're so willing to work with you, and the whole faculty at MCC is just great to be around.
I agree with you completely. What kind of qualities do you think that golf helps instill in the athlete, the student?
It's a very good sport especially for any kind of business.
Really?
Great for communicating, learn how to communicate and kind of get to know other people. It can help with jobs down the road, sales. It's just, golf's a great place for people to get to know one another.
As I said, I just kept thinking about it, and I'd sit and watch them go out and play, and I kept thinking, these are the craziest people on the face of the planet. I said, how on earth
Chasing
are you
that little
enjoying
ball
that?
around.
Chasing that little ball around. The biggest thing was to get them to bring the carts back before it got too dark.
Make them quit
but
playing.
They'd still be out there playing the whole
You can't
time.
see.
Do you see yourself doing this for quite a while?
I do. Before I got the job, it was kind of something I wasn't too sure about, but once I got it going, I'll be here as long as y'all have me.
Wonderful. Well, listen, I want to have you on again in the future, see how things are going.
Sounds good.
Especially when you get a ring or 2.
Yes, sir.
But thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me.
We'll be right back.
Meridian Community College. For more than 75 years, we've helped students soar. Establishing the first tuition guarantee program in Mississippi, we put our students first, while creating pathways into the workforce and offering a seamless transition to a 4-year degree. Now is the time to find your purpose and register today, because those who move forward never get left behind. MCC, find your wings.
On behalf of executive producers Tanisha Clark and Matt Milner, Media Invisible Specialist Josh Taylor, and student producer Tanya Jenkins, thank you so much for watching. Hope you learned just a little bit.
Meridian Community College. For more than 75 years, we've helped students soar. Now is the time to find your purpose and register today, because those who move forward never get left behind. MCC, find your wings.